Hello everyone, welcome to another gardening video. Grammy's Garden Tour, June 14th, 2020. Let's go see what's growing in the garden. There was one part of the garden that I neglected the last two times. There's the new turkey coop, and it's the pumpkin patch. Not too sure that it's going to do very well. Doesn't get very much sunshine. Grandpa had to cut down a branch to open it up a little bit. But I've got a few pumpkin plants growing. A lot of jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, some of those goosebump pumpkins, a couple different varieties. They look like they might be hanging in there. I may have to move it next year to a sunnier location, but we'll see. It sits right next to Grandpa's cabinet. All right, come on, let's go to the main garden. On the way to the main garden, let's stop by the blueberry patch. We finally got in our two new blueberry bushes. They're called Blueies, a little bit bigger. The leaves are getting adjusted. They'll start turning green, and hopefully have some nice growth on them. Here's one of the ones you saw before, and look how it's leafed out very nicely. In the vineyard's doing fine. The little buds have burst forth, and we have some pollination going on, so we'll get some nice clusters. Clusters look pretty thick. We have a little bit of insect damage coming onto the leaves. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe Japanese beetles. Looks like I may have to go and start picking Japanese beetles off of the vineyard. I guess that could be a crop. Maybe I'll feed them to the chickens. Here we are at the annex. Since it was close to the blueberry patch, I thought maybe we'd stop here first. Onions are doing fine. I've picked a couple at a green onion stage. The watermelon are struggling. Not quite sure what the problem is. We'll have to call on the doctor and see if she can fix it. Potatoes are doing fine. I've topped off all of my grow bags, I think, as far as they're going to go. And we're just going to let the plants continue to grow, and then they will flower at some point and then die off. The foliage will die off, and then we'll know that it's possibly time to pick some potatoes. The bean arbor, way up there. The beans are doing well, filling out. Nothing has started to climb yet. These are purple potted beans. These are regular pole beans. That's what I alluded to in the last one, that there was a different bean planted amongst them. Nora and Reese's red Chinese noodle beans are doing fine. They're reaching for the sky. On the other side of the trellis, you can see some carrots growing and filling in. I may have to do a little bit of thinning out, but not too bad. There on the other side are the yellow beans, yellow wax beans, I guess you would call them. We've been picking radishes, which are over here. Looks like there's a couple down here that we might be able to pick. And then scattering of lettuce and more carrots, which there's a carrot question in today's video. I'll answer that at the end of this video. Okay, back over to the main garden. Let's see what's growing over there. Okay, here's that new strawberry patch. This is where I saw that strawberry that first ripened, and everybody saw my reaction that war is going to be waged on those little chippies because somebody came and ate one of my strawberries. Here's another one that is ripening. It has maybe another day. There's a couple more that are whitish and getting a bit of a blush on them. Sunflowers don't need their cages anymore. Instead, I put some cages around some of those strawberry plants. Oh, those chippies. I don't like to share my strawberries with them. All right, main garden. Let's see. Ah, yes. Garlic is still growing. I'm waiting for some of the garlic snapes to come up. I do see a few. If you see this right here, it's called a garlic snape. They'll curl a little bit more. They're great. You can cut them and harvest them even before you harvest the garlic. And you can saute them in onion, or in butter, just like onions. And they're delicious. Here we have the Candyland tomato. And what do we see on the Candyland tomato but a blossom? That's exciting. Blossoms mean fruit. My row of Amish paste tomatoes, not doing as well as I thought they would. So I gave them a little liquid fertilizer to give them a boost. A little nitrogen fertilizer, a little heavier on the nitrogen than the potassium and hopefully they will perk up. These are beets. Beets are a seed that when you put them in the ground, they germinate. They usually germinate, and there's usually 2, 3, or 4 seeds in one clump. Like for instance, this one right here. There are 2 beets in this clump here. Here's one over here. This has 2. You can see. And that's okay that they grow together like that. They'll kind of push each other out of the way, but there's plenty of room in the soil for them to get all the nutrients they need. That's how beets grow. Down the other end, carrots, looking fine. I love to see them this height. They are so hard to grow. You can barely tell if they're a weed or a blade of grass. This is how they look when they first start coming up. And those seeds are ever so small when you plant them. But love seeing them at this height. Okay, on this side, look at that lettuce. Oh my gosh, we've been having lettuce in our salads every single day. Such a wide range of leaf types and colors. This is a red leaf lettuce. I think this is called red sails. This one over here, this lettuce right here is called red sails. This one over here is called burgundy red. We have some of this, I think this is some kind of a curly lettuce, but it should head up into a head. Right here, I wish I had saved it, is a kind of an endive kind of a lettuce. I cut it off here, and it should start sprouting around here with additional growth. Instead of just pulling the whole thing up and losing that entire plant, I'll get different shoots of additional growth on this one. Here's another one right here. Same kind. And this is called bronze something or another. I have to look that up. This one here, I think I've showed before. This is called an oak leaf. And you can see the leaves look a lot like an oak leaf. Oh, here's another one of those bronze ones. It's so pretty. Love the two-tone thing going on. Okay, a few little carrots down there between, with the hose between it. And, oops, steady. Here's one. Lovely. Almost hate to pick it because it's just so pretty. Beautiful. Now, what hadn't been up before is a little row like this. That leaf kind of looks like something else I have growing in my garden. Some cilantro, which is right down there. But these are called parsnips. They kind of look like a white carrot. Have a little zippy kind of a taste to it. These seeds are very difficult to germinate. Sometimes you soak them beforehand. But I'm going to have a few, not many. I pulled out all of my spinach, except for a couple plants here. And I'm saving this spot here for something new that I have. It's right now down in the basement under grow lights. I'm trying to get it to start. But that'll be in coming attractions. Here are some of the grape tomatoes. Looks like we may have a cluster. Yes, we do. Looks like a cluster of flowers ready to come out. Yippee! And here's an additional garden of lettuce. Here you can see where I cut this one off, just like I cut the other one, but you can see all this new growth that's happening right around where I had cut that off. And here's a bigger oak leaf one. Isn't that just gorgeous? Sitting next to one of these bronze ones. This right here is spinach, which is going to seed. I think I'm going to just hold on to this, let it continue its life cycle and produce seeds for me, and then I'll be able to have seeds to put in the garden next year, and I won't have to buy them from the seed company. Anyway, that was an oak leaf lettuce that I had cut before, and it's coming back more in the center. A couple other different varieties again. Scooting on down this side of the driveway, or yeah, there is the driveway, this side of the driveway. Here are the cucumbers, the type I use to make pickles. And sometimes they get away with it, get away from us, and they become biggies that I absolutely love to give to the chickens. And as I glance over here at the strawberry patch, look what we have down here. Ooh-wee! Another day. But as you can see, I've had to put netting over everything because the little chippies are hungry. And they like it as much as we do. And look at the edamame. I've never had such growth on the edamame. This is going to be a spectacular crop, even though I have only 2 rows. They come up this row, they sit alongside the peas. Kind of disappointed in all the pea crop here. I don't have one blossom yet on my peas. I should be eating peas by now, but I'm not. They'll get there. Maybe by next week, at the next video, I will have peas to show everybody. Here's a little sunflower. Little right now, it should grow really big and tall. It's one of those gigantic ones. I wanted to show everybody inside the netting again this week how everything is growing in here. You can see some of these are absolutely loving it. Anyway, just a quick peek. I didn't unwrap it like I usually do. Down this aisle, I had blank space in here, and I just sowed a few more lettuces, and we'll see how those work there. Along here, remember this is where I have those cantaloupes. There's one, and here's another right through there, and there's some that are coming up from seed. They aren't doing all that well. I gave them a shot of liquid fertilizer also. Some fish emulsion. Fish emulsion is a good one for developing leaves. And alongside here, I'm doing a little experiment right in this area through here, all through here. Last year I collected seeds from some lettuces, let them go to seed, and I'm planting them to see if they're actually going to work. I had a couple different varieties, and we'll see what comes up. I just planted them the other day, so they aren't even close to germinating. And a number of little baby lettuces along here. Here is this spectacular midnight snack tomato, and you can see, can you see? There are some flowers. So next video, next week, I am sure there are going to be some formed tomatoes there. These guys are doing fantastic. A couple taller than the others. Down Pepper Parkway here. I wanted to show you these peppers, that are the paprika peppers, weren't doing so hot. They suffered probably a little transplant shock. What I do to my peppers is I prune them, and by pruning them, meaning I'm taking off the top. And you can see that I did that here in this one. I took off the top, and it forces this side growth, so it makes them bushier. This one I didn't do, but he's coming back well. He's still too small. You need perhaps at least six good leaves in order to prune. If you see on this pepper, whoopee, we have a flower, and that's awesome. That's a jalapeno. And Owen got that one right. Did you get your gift in the mail yet, Owen? You can see, here's one. This is the King of the North pepper. Whoa, can you see those little buds? Oh my goodness. This one, I cut right here. I nipped the top growth off, and it forced lateral growth. And look how bushy it's going to get. More down here. Lots of lateral growth up here. Same with this guy. And this guy has a couple buds too. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. It's cool to get down at ground level and see all your plants. This poor guy, I hit him with the hose and I knocked his top off, so he got pruned again. So, and this guy, you can really see the lateral growth coming out from the main stem. It's going to make him bushier. It's going to provide the plant more leaves for the photosynthesis and more spots that will have blossoms and thus more peppers on them. Anyway, so I did all of those. I did those perhaps 2 weeks ago, right after the first video. And behind them, right behind them, of course, are tomatoes. And most of these are the Opalaka tomatoes. Those are Bonnie Best. Those are really good for slicers, just eat them plain. Here's another Candyland. That's such a cute one. I can't wait to have tomatoes off of that. All right. So, that's Pepper Parkway. With all peppers down the side. And tomatoes on the trellises. Okay, so, oh, there's one brassica that I forgot to show you last week. Remember, brassicas are the cabbages, cauliflowers, and Brussels sprouts, and kales. This is a brassica. Look at how pretty it is. It's purple and green. What a wonderful color combination. This is a cross between a Brussels sprout and a kale. I got a package of free seeds from one of these seed companies, and I just decided to grow them. And I have probably about 4 in this bed. This is a very good example of my crop, of what we had. They grow up straight like a Brussels sprout. Brussels sprouts come off the main stem, but instead of a Brussels sprout, you're going to get a little leafy cluster that's kind of like kale. Interesting, anyway. Oh, there's another spinach going to seed. Okay, let's go to the next garden. Here's the strawberries, and these I put netting on, and I can see already there's a lovely berry. It looks like he got hit by a little critter already. Oh well, I guess the chippies have to eat too. I see first glance there's a number of reddening berries down here. There's going to be a lot of raspberries on these few bushes that I have. If somebody wants to ask me why I have cardboard down everywhere, that might be a good question. Here's quite a bunch of raspberries. It's going to be good picking, at least in a few spaces here. Okay, let me come over this way. One thing I meant to do at this end of this bed is my leeks. And remember I told you I dug them, put them in trenches. Well, I wanted to start filling them in. I haven't done that yet. Building it up. It looks perhaps like I have a carrot growing here, right next to this leek. I'm gonna kind of let it go and see what happens. Does anybody have any guess what that might be? Give me an answer if you think you know what it is. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of leeks, and then over there, the lovely Walla Walla, Washington onions. So can't wait till those get nice and big and juicy. They're a real sweet onion. They're good to eat raw. Across here on this side, got spaghetti squash. It suffered a bit with transplanting, but now it looks like it's doing fairly well. I do see a tiny little bud right there. Probably when that comes out, I'll talk to you about the buds on squashes and stuff. So a couple spaghetti squashes, and then a couple delicata. You could tell that one over there. Leaves are a little on the yellow side. I think I gave him a little fish emulsion too, to give him a little boost. This guy seems to be doing fine. Look at those gorgeous leaves all spreading out. They're starting to vine. I see a curlicue or two in there. I could grow these on a trellis also. A lot of people are using trellises now to grow vining type of vegetables. Saves space. Called vertical gardening. That should make a lot of sense to everybody. Here are my orphaned tomatoes. They seem to be doing better than the ones I have in the main garden. They are spectacular. Next week we may have a lesson in pruning tomatoes. Here we have our zucchinis. This is big guy here, really big guy. This right here was Swiss chard, came up, remember, from last year? I've been picking all this little stuff. I picked one out and I gave it to the chickens. They had a feast. Here's the zucchini. Zoom in closely and you can see some buds on that one too. But this guy looks like he's suffering a bit. And he got a little shot of the nitrogen too. These are the yellow squashes, the lemon squash. I'm excited to try those. Here we've got a couple basil. And more whole beans, more green beans. They should be reaching out fairly soon to grasp onto the fence and climb right on up. Then we have some pretty flowers. Anybody know what kind those are? Ah, anybody can read the tag. They're a pretty one. They'll come up from seed too. Leaving them here. Okay, a few raspberry bushes on that side. I had put them in last year, so they're still in their infancy. That's Grammy's garden. And get your questions ready.